Dear boomers, I have given some thought to the fears that seniors and boomers have most likely in their lives. I had thought that for the majority of boomers, they have a fear of outliving their savings, their Social Security. Living entirely on Social Security might be a little bit of a problem. It might be a little bit of a challenge, especially if we have had a higher standard of living. Excuse me. So, the next fear, I think this fear kind of matches the fear of running out of your savings and outliving your savings in retirement. Not every boomer has that fear, let's face it. So the next thing to consider is the fear of falls. And I had done a video with Bruce Furtman about walking well, about breathing through every step. And as we breathe, we synchronize our heart and our brain and heart and our whole body. All the chakras come into harmonization. The fear of falling is something that we have seen many times in the way it happens. So, and what happens to us older people as we walk around unconsciously. We fail to look down to see what we could trip on. We have too many rugs in the environment where we go whoop and fall. There is a geriatrician named Dr. Elham Argami. He is a UCL health geriatrician. He speaks at senior centers or meets with her own patients, and they say they worry most about falling and hurting themselves, hitting their heads, not being able to get out, having a brain bleed. And it's no wonder, because each year 3 million older Americans visit emergency departments after a fall, and 20% of them are treated for a broken bone, a head trauma, or other serious injury, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. Frequent falls are not a normal part of aging, Argami says. In fact, the fear of falling itself can actually increase the likelihood of taking a fall. So, that's a very important point. Number one, the fear of falling is what holds people back. She says it's a vicious cycle. Fear of falling causes seniors to limit their activities, social interactions, and exercise. This inactivity leads to muscle weakness, especially in the spine and hip areas, and a loss of core strength that can lead to balance issues and falls. Limiting social interaction, which, if you're afraid of falling and you don't want to go anywhere, you are not really going to be socially interacting with anybody. And limiting social interaction and exercise also affects mental health and can lead to depression, resulting in a diminished quality of life. I don't know about you, but when I take a walk, which I do every day, it's not as long as it used to be. Pearl and I used to walk 8 miles a day, but she has been unable to do that. And Maso is not necessarily looking for longer walks, so we do more than likely walk more than just around the block. We might go up the street, go through the park and around and home again, whereas before we would go to the park and take a long loop and come back. But Maso and I do that maybe twice a week. So the take-home point here is to keep moving, even if you're not taking the long walks. Every step that you take around the house, every conscious step you take when you go outside to take the trash out, or in my case, I'm working on my backyard and cutting down trees, and or the act of gardening itself, as I may have mentioned. I picked my first gourd. This is a creativity tool. I feel that she is speaking to me, through her energy. And this is a creative piece of help for me. So, gardening my gourds, my hibiscus, my tomatoes, and I don't like it to look so wild out there. And so far, I have gotten away with it as far as the township goes. But so for someone who is not already active, this doctor recommends starting an exercise program at home to build up core and hip muscles. Start by doing simple exercises seated in a chair, she says. As you progress, you can use the chair or the wall for stability. Walking, climbing stairs, cycling, and low impact activities that get the heart moving and other muscles moving are also important to preserve bone strength. Swimming is very, very wonderful form of exercise. I do have the Y down the street, which I have thought often of going back to. And maintaining bone strength is important because if you do fall, you'll have less chance of serious injury if you do fall. So if you fall and you don't break any bones, what I don't like about those kinds of falls is the stiffness and rigidity that I feel in my body. It's just stiff and sore, and it takes a little bit a while to heal from those falls. Yeah. I was talking to one of my affiliate marketing friends today, and she takes shots of her own stem cells. They take stem cells out of her body and replace her body with the same stem cells that were taken out for arthritis, for hip deterioration, and that sort of thing. And she's a younger woman, but this kind of thing happens to everybody. So it's not just us older people that worry about our bone strength. In fact, from a very young age, we could be educated to be very conscious about the way we walk, conscious about the way we talk, and be kind. Be kind. There are many online exercise routines geared specifically for older people. Dancing. I have a dance app that I like to use. Oh, it's awesome. And yoga and Tai Chi and low-impact traditional Chinese exercise methods that employ slow movement and deep breathing. The studies have shown that Tai Chi can improve the balance, strength, and flexibility needed to prevent falls. The smooth movements are gentle on the bones and muscles, so if someone has arthritis or other pain, it won't. Not only will it not aggravate it, but it's your flexibility. The more you do yoga, the more you do Tai Chi, the more you move, your flexibility improves. I did do yoga for many years in the 1970s, and I recall being able, of course I was young, a lot younger, but I don't think it would be much different if I did yoga today. I would sense that improved flexibility, the ability to get down and get up. That's very important. Gardening and dancing, and there are many other active things to do with the older people in our lives, including me. So if you're outside digging in your garden and lifting planters, that's a very good workout, she says. And we talked about dancing for flexibility and balance, and it can provide social interaction and activates the brain. Because when you do take these walks, your brain, the stress levels, the cortisol levels in the brain are decreased. And you have to keep remembering to step and keep a rhythm. It's good for your mental health because all exercise increases hormones and endorphins like serotonin and dopamine, and improves your mood and decreases feelings of depression. Yeah, I think that walking might be the overall remedy for depression. Really, it is. And drug interactions. Now, a lot of us older people get prescribed a lot of medications. That the CDC reports that 83% of adults in their 60s and 70s report using at least one prescription drug. And in many cases, their whole drug cabinet is filled with prescription drugs. And very rarely do doctors go over these and take them away. There's some of these are not needed. So even over-the-counter supplements can interact with the medicines that you are already prescribed and also can cause dizziness and faintness. So people may think that drugstore brands or vitamins and supplements are not a problem, but they can seriously affect alertness and cause dizziness. Medications used for asthma, colds, and allergies are and those that are used for insomnia are the most commonly associated with adverse effects and drug interactions, including dizziness, depression, balance problems, and cognitive impairment. So this doctor encourages her patients to bring them in all of the medicines that they are taking, lay them out, and then somebody records them into most undoubtedly a computer program. And they bring in their prescriptions in their original containers, including vitamins, including the over-the-counter drugs, And then they check the patient's medications against the American Geriatrics Society's publication called the Beers Criteria, a compendium of medicines that may be unsuitable for older adults for a variety of reasons. Doctors can prescribe alternatives to a medicine likely to cause dizziness and falls or cancel prescriptions patients no longer need. So when a person takes a drug of concern, she alerts them to the risks and how to minimize the dangers. She makes sure that all her patients are on the appropriate medications and dosages. Get help immediately, and despite our best efforts, falls do happen. Just like with a stroke, time is critical. It's important to get help very quickly after the fall, and this is just as important as avoiding falls in the first place. Because lots of times you might need to get an x-ray or MRI to see if you have injured a bone, a knee, or a hip. Researchers at the CDC's National Center for Injury Prevention and Control found that nearly half, 48.7%, of fall-related deaths among people aged 65 and older involved a head injury. Lying on the ground for a prolonged period can lead to painful pressure ulcers and more serious conditions. Even less severe injuries, such as broken bones, can result in complications. And don't be ashamed about falling, because a lot of times people will not admit that they have had a fall. And it's important that for a medical staff or a doctor or physician assistant or nurse practitioner checks things out for you. And why not use a cane if you feel a little unsteady on your feet? Have virtual assistants and smart speakers have become wildly popular, especially among older adults. The American Association of Retired Persons, AARP, estimates that about 30% of seniors now use smart speaker technology, such as Apple's Siri, Amazon's Alexa, and Google Assistant. And may I add, I don't have my Apple Watch on right now, but there's something where if you do fall and you have your Apple Watch on, it will say, an alert will come up. Did you fall? If you did fall, you can't get up, you can press a 911 and they'll come and help you. The Apple Watch also monitors your oxygen level, and if they say that the heart, and also measures the heart rate. So if the Apple Watch says you are having an arrhythmia, then it's a good idea to go get that checked out. You can use your device to call a family member or call for emergency assistance. A Fitbit, iWatch, you or a loved one can always get help when needed, whenever, whatever you need it. So not every fall can be prevented, but a proactive approach can help us older people feel more confidence and greater reduce our incidence of injury, disability, and death. Prevention is really the best bet for maintaining your independence and mobility as you age, and that's why when we can have programs for seniors. I contacted Bruce Furtman about his Walking Well program and Walking Well program, and he is. I've signed up for a course to take online with them, and I would love to go personally work with older folks who would like assistance with prevention of falls. And I'm very excited to tell you how this goes. And let me know if this is helpful to you and if you would like further help. I'm talking about working with the older folks locally, but we can do some online programs also to emphasize the importance of conscious living, consciousness of how you think, consciousness of how you breathe, consciousness of how you step, each breath. We're living in the present moment, and especially as we do age and as we realize that there is an end to this lifetime and a beginning of another, we need to value this present moment in every moment that we have. There will be a video that shows up. Love to all.